If you work a lot, you have lots of hustle, lots of tasks, lots of things to do, but very few results and you achieve little in life, then you have a strategy problem. Watch this video to the end, and I'll explain what strategy is and how it affects your life. Many people think that to get a lot of results, you need to move more, do more tasks, work more, and so on. In reality, random, chaotic actions don't produce results. Results come from targeted, well-calibrated actions. And without strategy, this is impossible. First of all, I'd like to say that any of your actions not based on strategy are just fuss before failure. So today, let's sort out what strategy is, how it works, and how you can apply it in your life. Many think strategy is just plans, or a technical term used only in special situations. And the word strategy feels overly complex, so people try to avoid it. But in fact, strategy is a planned line of the most effective behavior to achieve your goals by concentrating your attention on what has the greatest long-term importance. Let's unpack this definition piece by piece. What is a line of the most effective behavior? This is where the main dividing line lies between strategy and plans. Let's clarify the difference. A plan is essentially a list of tasks you carry out in a certain order. A strategy is a line of behavior. It is not a task list. It is a behavioral line. To make it easier, here's a Chinese parable. You know the Chinese are very strong in strategy, especially in Sun Tzu's The Art of War, which speaks a lot about it. Once, in a Chinese kingdom, a king expected an attack from a neighboring state. He summoned his 3 generals and asked them to develop countermeasures. The first general said, "I'm a battle general. We'll enter the war. From experience, we'll figure it out on the spot. Things are clearer there." The second general said, "No, we need to build defensive fortifications, build strongholds, become invincible, and then we can achieve victory." The third general said, "I won't propose something specific, but I know this. We must hold the high ground, cut the enemy off from drinking water, and use the advantages of terrain and of day and night." What happened? The first general proposed to fight with no plan at all, like many entrepreneurs who go by intuition. "We'll see on the spot," or "war will show the plan." The second general proposed specific plans. Fortify the perimeter, build walls. This is projects and step-by-step tasks. The third general spoke not about plans and not about costs. Building fortifications is expensive, but about a line of behavior. Always hold the heights. Always deny the enemy access to water. Always exploit terrain and time of day, and so on. See the difference? Plans are concrete steps. Strategy is the behavioral line that runs through all your actions, including your plans. Further, as we said, strategy is a planned line of the most effective behavior to achieve long-term goals. Strategy always pursues your long-term goals. It is not aimed at your short-term objectives. This needs to be understood clearly. In plans, you often set short-term goals. How is this achieved? By concentrating your attention on the most important things. What is most important? Many people take lots of actions and think actions themselves will bring results. In reality, actions alone don't bring results. They just increase fuss and chaos in your life. You simply waste energy running around. You should perform only those actions that directly affect your result. Such actions are called points of effort application, leverage points. Thus, strategy is essentially concentration of attention on the leverage points, only on steps that specifically move you toward your long-term goals. Strategy is not something where you take 1 or 2 steps and get instant results. Strategies usually produce long-term results. They don't deliver quickly, but they do deliver over time. It's very important to build strategy first. Without it, you're like a hamster on a wheel. every day fighting problems that hit you daily. When you work from strategy, the daily problems stop arriving and you focus on longer-term goals, calmly and thoughtfully. Think back in your life. Surely there were situations where you did lots of things, completed various tasks, and then suddenly, from one particular action, you began to get results sharply. That action had the greatest impact on the final outcome. Describe it in the comments. Remember it. That kind of action is a leverage point. You intuitively press the point that directly influenced your result. Now imagine that, to achieve your long-term goals, there are 1,000 tasks to complete. If you rush to do all 1,000, you'll lack time and energy. But if from those 1,000, you extract only the key leverage points, the ones to press to move your goal forward or produce effect, that is strategy. Strategy, as I said, is a work plan only across the leverage points. To understand strategy more deeply and how to build it, let's go through several foundational principles you must know. First, firmly grasp that nothing in this world is isolated. Everything is interconnected. You can't truly imagine anything absolutely separate. Everything is part of reality. Second, understand that all interconnections are dynamic. Nothing stands still. Everything moves. And these connections move only in two directions. They either improve and thrive or worsen and die. Take your relationships with friends. They're always in motion. Some improve, some deteriorate. Same with colleagues and partners. Relationships either improve or worsen. If you don't communicate, they automatically deteriorate. If you communicate more often and more deeply, they improve. So the first two principles, everything is interconnected, and all connections are dynamic, either improving or degrading. Here's a small life hack for managing connections. Relationships strengthen only through attention. The more attention you give to a relationship, the better it becomes. Attention is the elixir of life. I even have a formula. Attention equals your time plus your energy times love. If you give time, spend energy, and do it with love, any relationship will flourish. Third, in this world, all relationships are built on cause and effect. Between people and objects, between objects, and between people themselves, there is causality. Simple example, if I push this computer, it moves. In a car, press the gas and it goes. Press the brake and it stops. Cause and effect. With a partner, act dishonestly and the relationship worsens. Show care and attention and it improves. It's crucial to learn this third principle. Relationships are dynamic and causal. Nothing happens just because. This is very good news. Understanding causality gives us an understanding of what to influence to get the desired result. We all have goals and desired outcomes. Our task is to find the direct link between the action, cause, and the result, effect. Therefore, to achieve any desired result, you need to take certain causes, actions. There can be many causes. Your task is to identify the key cause. When you set a goal and list all actions needed to reach it, sit and think which actions will have the greatest impact on the outcome. A quick life hack. In most, perhaps all goals, it's enough to focus on actions that lead to growth. Ultimately, our goals aim at growth. Growth is the primary sign of life. Where there is life, there is growth. Where things degrade, they move toward death. The world splits into life and death. A person, an object, a plant. If it starts degrading, it's heading to death. If it develops and grows, it thrives. Same in business. Growing profit, thriving. Falling profit, degrading toward bankruptcy. So here's a strategy right away. To determine key actions for most goals, choose the ones that directly affect growth. Take any of your desires: more profit, more money, more happiness, better relationships. Unite them, and you'll see the word growth everywhere. Growth of profit, business growth, growth in number of contacts, and so on. To filter key actions among many, highlight those that directly drive growth. In business, you get daily floods of tasks, accounting issues, some mishap, etc. Take the list and ask, which of these directly affects profit growth? If none do, you're the hamster again. Then put at the top 3 tasks that directly influence profit growth. Doing at least 3 growth-driving actions daily will bring you to your goals by the shortest path. This is the basis of strategy. Another example: when starting a business, what is the key? Many think marketing, sales, HR, hiring, business plan, accounting, finance. This is all tactics, plans, and fuss. The most important thing: understand that business is a marathon. Along the way, you will make mistakes and fall. There is no one who built a business or achieved any goal instantly. This applies to any human endeavor. When starting anything, mistakes and setbacks are inevitable. Strategically, the most important thing from the start is to begin only what you will stand up for after every fall. What could that be? Only something you love. If you want to start a business, first determine and find the thing that when you fall, you'll still have the energy and motivation to get up and continue. That is strategic task number 1 at the start. The second strategic leverage point: find a business, even if you don't love it, that gives immediate feedback, quick payoff. Quick payoff gives you energy and motivation to continue. Therefore, when starting a new business or any endeavor, concentrate on 2 things. 1. Choose something you're willing to do despite setbacks, usually a loved field. 2. Or choose something that gives fast returns to keep motivation and energy high as you weather falls. On mistakes and failures, the main thing to grasp is that falling is never bad. You don't become a loser by falling. You become a loser if you fall and don't get up. If you rise after each fall, you have a huge chance to become a winner. It's also very important to be in the right environment, talk to the right people, and receive the right information. If that's relevant, join my Telegram channel, link in the description, where I share life hacks and stories to reinforce our understanding of strategy and why it's needed. Here are a few thoughts/life hacks. Put simply, strategy is wisdom turned into a plan. When we do something, there's a lot of uncertainty. We can't foresee all obstacles or scenarios. The only thing we can predetermine is how we will act in such situations. That's called a line of behavior. This line should be based on wisdom. Strategy is wisdom transformed into a plan. You have experience, understanding of how to behave in different situations. You develop this behavioral line, strategy, and on its basis, you write a plan. Then your plan has room for change. You can adjust it without deviating from your goal. Another point: business without strategy is fuss before failure. Business is a marathon, a long-term story. Understand this firmly. And what are investments? Investing without strategy is playing in a casino. If you think you're investing but have no strategy, no investment policy that expresses it, then you're likely gambling. And a plan without strategy is just a to-do list, a set of tasks not united by any common behavioral line. You must understand, strategy is a model of behavior under uncertainty. When you strive for success, you must interact with uncertainty. Success rarely lives where everything is obvious and everyone's been before. Success is possible where things are unclear and risks exist. Strategy answers not only what to do, but also how, when, where, with whom, and why. Strategy is much deeper than most people think. I suggest that right after this video, you think, do you have a strategy in your life? What are your long-term goals? Break your life into long-term goals, 5-year, 10-year. You can do 20-year as well. Here's a simple life hack to create your strategy. Over 5 to 10 or 20 years, make 3 lists. Who I want to be in 5, 10, 20 years. 2. What I want to have in 5, 10, 20 years. 3. What I want to do in 5, 10, 20 years. When you set these 3 types of goals, that's already half of strategy. You know where to go and what to achieve. After that, write a list of what absolutely must be done to achieve these goals, without which the goals are impossible. Typically, these will be your key actions, the necessary conditions. Then reflect on what directly affects the growth from your current state to your future state. Usually, the difference between who you are, what you have, what you do now, and who you want to be, what you want to have, what you want to do, is only in scale. Growth. You need to grow. You never have goals that require you to shrink. Goals are aimed at growth, so daily, in your to-do list, include at least 3 tasks that directly lead to your growth. Everything that influences your growth, that will be your strategy.